press mold. Okay, we're gonna make some press mold. Now, press mold that you can use like a whole sheets of clay and just lay on top of your the object that you want to be pushed into, and so that's why they call press mold. So basically, just find something and you're gonna push the clay in, and that's one way of doing it. There's another way called drape mold or slump mold, which is right on top of it. And this one, I will, if you're gonna try to use the slump mold, I would suggest maybe some sort of don't let your clay dry too long. If you let your clay dry too long past the leather hard stage, it might crack on the edges. So that's a kind of disadvantage of using the slump mold. Also, another disadvantage of using a slump mold is because this is not very absorb the clay, so therefore it will take long time to dry. Okay, so if you really want to make some slump mold like this, maybe it's good that you make your own clay slump right here, so you can put it on top. You lay your clay on top, you create some surface. Okay, so with this is kind of fun too. Then you can actually lay a strip of a clay, or you can lay a patch of clay and connect them, and lay all kinds of variation just using this. And you can compress the end, so the outcome is you will see the pattern inside of your bowl or inside of your clay. Okay, that's a slump mold. If you use a press mold, that means if you push any variations of, like this says, if I have a little bit of a clay, and I roll them out like that, you see it like that, then I push it in, so I smoosh them together, right, like that. So sooner or later, if I fill this whole thing out, by the time this dry out, your outside shape gonna have a pattern. So that's the two differences between press mold, which is your image, your texture is gonna be outside, and if you use a slump mold, which is your image, right here, your image gonna be inside of your bowl or your pots that you make. Okay, so that's a two different variations. So you just have to think about what you want to do. Okay, and then here I usually, if I use this press mold, I actually spray some Pam oil in there, so they're kind of easy to slide off. So you can see sometimes right in here, this is actually, you can see the little oil is because I spray them so they can slide off easily. Okay, so today we're gonna do a press mold. So you can again lay the whole sheets on top, do the press mold, or what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna cut out a stencil. Okay, so here's a stencil. It's a circle stencil that I'm doing right here. Right, so I'm gonna cut half of these right here. So this is gonna be inside of the bowl. I'm gonna use this to make a half of a spear right here. Okay, so this is what I do. I'm gonna take this clay. So earlier when I laid out the clay, I noticed it's a little thick, so I actually thin it out just a little bit more. Now this is look good to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay them out. Okay, right here. My apology for long morning outside, but what do you do, right? Okay, so I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna cut it, trace it. I'm gonna cut this one right here. I mean, roughly, you don't have to be like scientific, you have to be right on the edge, So I'm gonna cut that, and then probably this gonna be cut like that too. So can you see right here? I got some cut out right there. Here you go. Alright. So I'm gonna do another one right about here, and I try to put it as close as I can, because you know what? I'm gonna use these slabs, make more stuff. Alright? So I don't wanna waste it. So make sure the relationship that, when you lay out your clay, don't waste it, okay? You spend a lot of time to roll out the clay, so just don't, so roughly, like that. Okay. See, I cut a little bit too small. Alright. Oh well, it'll work. So I got two things right here, you see? Two slot right there. So this will be these two. Now I'm gonna put it in. Now this clay is just slightly wet, but I'm still gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna take this out. It's important that you know all these clay right here, you should all smush them up. Okay, like that. And then really save them. You don't want to waste them, okay? I'm gonna take this out and then put into the bag right away. Because everything here, I just wedge it again and then reuse them, okay? So now I got one piece right here. So you can see it's kind of thick on the edges. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't roll it very good, I guess. And the second piece right here, okay? So these two pieces, I'm gonna put it inside. And notice there's a hole on the bottom, right? Because I'm gonna cut a separate piece. Here you go, separate piece of a clay. So we're not overlapping the clay right now because the clay is still somewhat wet, okay? Somewhat wet. So, but I'm still gonna put a little bit of a slip. So I'm gonna do that. Gonna put a little slip right here. I already mentioned last time, I don't know if you visit some of my past video, I actually suggest put some of the vinegar in there. The vinegar helps break down a little bit of material, so actually fluffier and better to seal them together. So I'm going to put about a 1/4 inch right there, and I'm going to put them in. Okay, see? Here you go. Here you go. Put it down. Okay. So now instead of using my hand, you know, I can actually take a little sponge and kind of press it down a little bit. Okay. So this is not quite perfect circle, but that's okay. We'll move around. We can trim it later. So again, like that. Okay. Now you're gonna take a piece of a circle that you because now we need to fill inside, right? So I'm gonna cut a little circle. Eyeball it. Okay. Good enough. Put it in. So I'm going to take this on the side. Okay. You can use a rolling pin or you can use one of these ink print making rollers. You can like do that. I just need a little bit bigger. A little too small. Okay, so you can see right here. I'm gonna put this one down. Yeah. I'm gonna use my sponge and flatten it out. And I can actually blend them later. You can see right now I'm blending the clay together. So the unevenness, you just take a little tools, okay? Take this, cut it slightly, just trim the little edges, make them look even. And this is also can use it as a bending wheel, right? Are you ready? I'm gonna take that off. Right there. There you go. So I'm gonna do that. So that's how you make the press mold. Make sure that you spray the pan on the bottom so they don't stick, okay? Then you make sure the edges not connect to the edges, and then you take it outside and let them dry a little bit, okay? Once they dry, you notice the clay actually will release. So here's another one right here on the edges. This one didn't quite. So they actually will release. And this one is actually what they look like, so you can take it out. So what I did is, instead of making it 2 spears, you know, I've made a little foot and make it looks like a little ball right here. Yeah? Okay. So this is how you patient, okay? Wait for them to dry and then wait for them to dry away from the bowl, and then until leather hard and you kind of gently taking out. So this is how you make a half spear. So if you have, you know, spear. So if you have 2 of them, you can put them together. And oh, I'm sorry, if you have half of them, two of them, you can put them together. Yeah, so half and half, put them together, it's gonna be a full. Or you can also use a pinch pot. So this one is hollow too. Okay, so again, this is how you